Hi, I'm Kelly from Kelly Jones Jewellery. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this pendant, and it's quite a simple one this week. It's made using just two base wires. So you can use basically any shape and size stone for this one. I've made a few earlier. I've done a little one and I've done an arrowhead. So you really can use any shape you like, any size you like. You just have to adjust your wire lengths and your weave repeats. All the usual links are in the description below. We've got Etsy, my Etsy shop, which is where I sell all my written tutorials, and all the finished jewellery that I make is all on my shop. And you've got Facebook and Instagram, so if any of you are on there, please come and follow me and tag me when you're sharing work made from my tutorials. I'd love to see what you all make. To make this pendant you'll need 0.8mm wire, that's 20 gauge, and I've cut two lengths at 11 inches, that's 28 centimetres. You'll need 0.315mm weaving wire, that's 28 gauge. I've wound mine onto a bobbin. If you don't have a bobbin you can just cut lengths as you go. You'll only need about 200 centimetres for this one. We don't use much wire. Now I'm using a teardrop cabochon and mine is 35mm by 18. Now you can use, for this design, I think you can use almost any size and shape stone within reason. I've done this design on a few other different shapes, tiny ones, an arrowhead. I'm going to try it on a heart as well. Oh, that's really sparkly. So yeah, I'm going to try it now on this flat-backed teardrop. But yeah, I think you can use any size, any shape. You may have to add more wire, take wire, add more weave repeats, depending on the size of your stone. You'll need a little jump ring as well. Mine is 8mm outside measurement. I make my jump rings using 1.5mm wire, that's 14 gauge. My tools today are what I normally use. We've got the pliers, round nose pliers, wire cutters, nylon pliers. If you don't have nylon pliers, don't worry. I like to have these handy for just straightening wires, flattening weaves. All my current tools are Tronex, and I'll put a list in the description below. Also, as you probably noticed, I'm in the UK. I get all my wire from Metal Clays For You or Scientific Wires, whoever's got it at the time. It's not really easy to get hold of wire in the UK, and I do use Rio Grande in America, but this is from Metal Clays. So I'm going to start weaving about 3.5 inches from the beginning of the wire. So depending on the shape of your stone, depending on the size of your stone, you're going to have to work that out. You need to have a nice length of weave now to be able to go around the stone. So mine is about 3.5 inches from the beginning of the wires. What you could do is leave a length on the end of your wire. So start a little bit further in, so you can add weave repeats if you need to. So take your weaving wire and we'll leave a bit of length in case we need to add more weave repeats, and we'll start with 5 wraps around the bottom wire. And then 2 wraps around both wires, and that's our repeat. 5 wraps around the bottom wire and then 2 wraps around both wires. So I've done 22 repeats of that weave. To work out how many repeats you need to do the next step, and then you can add or take weave repeats. So I'm going to bend the wire in the middle, and I'm going to bend it all the way around to make a nice loop. and that's the loop that's going to go at the top. And keep pushing your weaves together to keep it nice and tidy. So we've got a nice loop there. And then you're going to position your stone to sit like this, so the loop just pops out the top of the stone. And with the wire just being there, you can understand now there's going to be a bit fiddly to hold. So we're going to hold that the best we can. And we're going to wrap these weaves over the sides of the stone. I'm going to pull them down a little bit. And then I'm going to wrap them over the sides of the stone. So you don't want it too low, but you don't want it too high so that the stone pops out the top. So these weaves need to come over. If that's your widest point, the weaves need to come over up here so that the stone can't slide out. So now we need to add weave repeats. These weaves need to come to the middle. So the weaves meet in the middle, and then we're going to weave across all 4 wires. So I need to add a few more repeats to the weave on each side for it to meet. So now we need to bend the wires down. And it is a bit awkward because you haven't really got anything to lean on. And you want to lean on the stone there. So try and keep the sides quite high without misshaping it too much, and then bring your weaves together in the middle there. So I've had to undo a few weave repeats on that side because I did too many. So you want the weaves at the side to come over the top, and then you want them to come down and meet together. So I'm going to bend them out a little bit. I'm pulling the weave up so that I'm compressing my weave together, and I'm just bending the wires out a bit so they meet like that there. And then I'm going to separate these wires a bit. So now we'll weave across all 4 to hold those wires together. So I'm going to move that wire out the way. Seems to be even more in the way now. And I'm going to use this one. So bringing the wires together. I'm going to go around the bottom 2 and up between those 2. Oh, I can't get that wire out the way. Go away. And then I'll go over the 3rd wire and up between the middle 2, over the top, and come up between the bottom 2 wires. Then go around the middle 2 and bring the wire underneath the bottom wires. And that ties them all together in a nice little weave. So then I'll finish that weave with 3 wraps around the bottom wire. The cutter's gone. And I'll cut that wire. And then I'm going to take the top wire. I've got my bobbin on, that's why it's a pain. And I'm going to bring that up between the top 2, and I'm going to finish that wire with 3 wraps around the top wire. Blue gold stone, this lovely sparkly stone is. So I'm going to cut that there. I'm going to need to flatten out those ends. So once you've got your weave in place, you want to have a look at the shaping of the top and just have a fiddle with the wires and just make sure that it's all like nice and central how you want it to be. And then when you're happy with the shape, hold the top in place. We're now going to shape these wires. So we'll bring 2 out. Yes, I've had to cut all my nails off. A few of them broke and I'd only got a few long ones left, so I've had to cut them off. But they'll grow back. So you've got this kind of shape on the bottom. So when you're happy with that shape, and it's all quite symmetrical looking, holding it firmly in place with your thumb, we're going to take these wires and just push them around to the back, and then those 2 as well, and then have a look at your stone and make sure it's all central how you want it to be. When you're happy with the shape, we're going to bring those wires over the back. So you can have a good look at your shape and make sure it's how you want it to be. You can adjust it a little bit. It's best to adjust it now, because as soon as you've secured those wires at the back, you won't really be able to alter anything without really upsetting the shape of it. So it's quite a simple design, so you've got to get it all symmetrical now before you finish it off. So if we turn to the back, what we're going to do now is hold in the wires the best you can. We're going to bring them all together so all the wires come up together at the back. And then we're just going to do a little weave across all 4 to like secure them together at the back. So bring your wires together there, and we're going to weave across all 4 wires. So take your weaving wire, and we'll start with the bottom wire. We'll go 3 wraps around the bottom wire. And we'll do the weave we did on the front, but we'll do a few more repeats so it's more secure. So if you go over the second wire and come up between the bottom 2, so you've gone around the bottom 2 wires, then go around the middle 2 wires, bring the wire up in between them, then go over the top wire and bring your wire up between the bottom 2 wires. Go around the middle 2, bringing your wire underneath the bottom, and then wrap around the bottom 2 wires. Bring your wire up between those bottom 2 wires. Try and keep compressing your weave together to keep it nice and tidy. So we go around the middle 2, around the top 2, around the middle 2, around the bottom 2, and then we'll finish how we started with 3 wraps around that bottom wire. So that's just a nice little weave to hold it together on the back there. So we just need to cut that weaving wire at both ends and then cut flatten down any sharp bits. So once you've got that and you're happy with the shape, we just need to secure these wires now. So what we're going to do, the 2 outer wires, I'm going to leave those for a minute. We're going to focus on these 2 top ones. we're going to bend them to go either side of the centre weave, and they're going to wrap around that top weave, so you need a little bit of a gap there at the top. So we're going to cut those wires, leave a little bit of length still on those wires so that we can wrap them around the weave properly. I cut them a bit short just on another one that I made, and it was a bit awkward. I am a bit awkward though. So we're going to bend these wires around. I'm holding it in place here and I'm pressing on it firmly so I can't, hopefully, pull the wire through too much to misshape all these wires. And I'm just going to curl it around this weave here. And I'm going to do it for the other side as well. So I've wrapped that one as well, and I've tightened them up and cut them quite short there, so that's secured at the top. I'm just going to cut these wires and do a little curl at the top there. So I'm going to cut that quite short, and the other one, and I'm going to finish them off in little curls. So this one this way and this one this way. You can finish these wires off however you like. You can attach them to the top if you want. I just didn't think I'd have enough room. On the one that I made, I attached them to the top. All of them to the top. Because the funny shape of the stone, it kind of bellies out at the back. So I needed it to be quite secure, and if I'd have curled these, they might have snagged because of the shape of the stone. And then with the little one, I put little tiny curls on there. So it really does depend on the shape and the size of the stone that you're using. So I'm just curling these now to make little curls with those extra wires on the back. I finished off the back of that one, and now I just need to add the little jumping. So there we have it. You just pop your cord through the top, and I just need to oxidize this one. So there we have it, finished. I hope you found this tutorial easy to follow, and I will see you all in the next video. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and please mention me at Kelly Jones Design when you're sharing your work online, and please don't show images of the back. Thanks everybody, see you soon.